Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and today we are continuing Disney Month with Home Free. I had a look at their channel to see what they'd done by Disney, and I saw there's a whole Disney medley there, but it doesn't appear to have a video associated with it. And right now I'm trying to look at songs that I can actually discuss a visual component to as well. So I'm actually going to be reacting to Try Everything by Shakira, which is sung by the character Gazelle in Zootopia. This is a film that came out 8 years ago now. No, hang on. 7 years ago now. Let me get that right. Which, I can't believe it was that long ago. I swear I saw that in cinemas, 2 or 3 years ago, but it has been quite a while. But this is a fantastic piece of music. I've heard it a bunch since. I really enjoy it. It's not something I've gone out of my way to listen to on a regular basis, but it always makes me happy when it comes on. There's something very, very motivating about it, and I really enjoy that. And I'm really curious to see what Home Free's done with it. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. There's an entertaining story to the naming of Zootopia, which I'm sure many people know already, but I just wanted to touch on it because it's just kind of extraordinary. As many people probably know, Zootopia was actually renamed Zootropolis, specifically because Disney struggled to get the rights to the name in Europe. And I know there's a variety of reasons involved in that, not the least of which is that there's a zoo in Denmark that has actually trademarked Zootopia, even though that's not what they're called, I believe. I might be wrong about that, please correct me if I am. But having had the name Zootopia and then having had to rename it Zootropolis for almost all of Europe, they then had to rename it again to Zoomania in Germany because there's a children's book called Zootropolis that was released, I think, a little over a decade ago now. So, 5 or 6 years before the film came out. So they've had a bit of a challenge with the name of that film, which for some reason entertains me. It's one of those things that just seems so unfortunate. You think you've come up with something, and of course, somewhere else, there it is. So I feel bad for them that they had to do that. But there you go, 3 different names for the same film. This is, as I say, Try Everything by Shakira. It's written by Sia and Stargate, which is the duo of Tor Erik Hermansen and Mikkel S. Eriksen. It's a Norwegian producers and writers. And yeah, I think we've probably all heard this song, and I'm very curious to see what the a cappella arrangement of it is like. So, first things first, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are, very briefly, I will watch this video from beginning to end without pausing, and I'll just, emote over the top of it, and then I will go back, start from the beginning, and pause, interrupt, and offer what commentary and analysis I feel like I can as we go along. So that's my format. If you enjoy this, please do like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when my videos come out. Normally every Friday at 5 PM, and then during Disney Month, if all goes to plan, I'm going to be releasing 2 a week. And if you would like to as well, you could head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, and you can donate to support the channel there, which I would be very grateful for. And that's me. I think that's everything. So without further delay, let us get into Try Everything as covered by Home Free. Nice. Nice touch with the words coming up to the beat.
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still messed up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up.
Nice. Such a clean switch between Austin and Rob every time. Nice. That's gorgeous.
Till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No
Nice tight harmonies here. I love what they've done with this. It's got all the pep that the original has. I love that. It's cool that this is in a studio environment too. I'll come back to that in a minute.
Look how far you've come. You filled your heart with love. Maybe you've done enough. Take a deep breath. Don't beat yourself up. No need to run so
Oh,
fast.
that's a nice duo.
Sometimes we come in last.
Chance and Tim together, I like that. Adam's killing it on the percussion in this. Sounds great. Nice. Excellent fill there, thank you, Adam. Oh, nice drop, like that. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love that ending. That's gorgeous. Oh, I'm going to hover that because I have not seen that. I don't want to spoil. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, something pops up.
Baritone, Mr.
Oh yeah, they are going to talk. Okay.
Thank you so much for watching our video for Try Everything, featuring our new baritone, Mr. Adam Chance here.
Oh, is this his first
We
video?
saw the movie Zootopia and we fell in love with the song, and we thought we'd do a little something for our small fries out there. But hopefully, however old you are, you're enjoying this tune with us.
Absolutely. Please check us out on Patreon, where you can help support the creation of awesome videos just like this one.
And be sure to check us out on tour. Our tour dates are listed below.
Also, don't forget to subscribe below and like us on Facebook.
Okay, man, well, he's a natural.
Oh, Rob. That's interesting. So is this Chance's first video, or is it just very early on and they're still sort of introducing him each time in case people haven't seen the previous one? Either way, that's awesome. This is a great. It was great. I love the fact that we had him in the harmony. We also had that lovely duet with Tim. I don't think I've heard their two voices together yet as just a duet thing, have I? Certainly not. I don't think that pronounced. They make a really nice combination. Especially because Tim was a little higher throughout this. There wasn't a lot of the super bass that we get from him, which was actually really nice. It kind of kept because this is obviously a fairly poppy song. There isn't a lot of sort of massive range in the original, and so they've kind of paid homage to that and kept all of their stuff a little bit tighter as well. That was really cool. It was interesting because I'm still recording this way ahead of Disney month so that I can get enough content in to be able to do my twice a week thing. And I've literally just finished recording yesterday the Voctive Princess medley, and I was just saying I hadn't seen much in the way of studio stuff where the video is the band in the studio, and I referenced Auld Lang Syne with Home Free where they were, but it was also it still felt a little bit more like a video rather than having I realize I don't need this out. I'm not using this thing. It's distracting me. It was a little bit more of like a production video rather than a recording of a studio recording. Even if it was, and I think it may have been a recording of a studio recording, something about the way that it was filmed wasn't quite as informal almost as the Voctive video was. And now we get this, which is exactly that. And I really, really like this. I also like that they've mixed it up between what are presumably maybe rehearsals, I would imagine the proper recording session, and also I guess I'm wondering if one of the It's hard to know which one they've used as the final. I would imagine where they were each in front of their own microphone was probably the final recording, but it's nice that they've also got the one of the 5 of them surrounding the mic, which I'm guessing may have been a test just to see how everything was coming out. I don't know. I don't know how they record their stuff. You can use so many different methods for recording a group like this. So if anybody knows which one was the actual recording, please do say. Let's just have a quick glance, talking of recording, at what information we have here. So we've already talked about the written by Stargate and Sia, produced and arranged by Darren Rust, which I had. Thank you very much to everybody who responded to my comments on Auld Lang Syne, or my question on Auld Lang Syne, saying yes, that was Darren in the video, and I'm assuming that was his hands again in this one. Who arranges, I believe, quite a lot of their stuff, and obviously has a very, very good ear for what Home Free can do. Recorded at Kung Fu Bakery Recording Studios in Portland, Oregon, and Skyland Studios in Lakeville, and this is where the terrible, is that, yeah, Minnesota, okay. I was like, MN, oh rats, which state is that? Because I'm woefully bad at identifying some of the acronyms for states. I know most of them, but there's a few that always catch me out. Mixed by Darren at Skyland Studios. Okay, so Skyland, I guess, is Darren's studio, maybe? Or is it just that he tours with them and that's where they happen to be at the time? And then mastered by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundom Mastering, Los Angeles, California. You cannot underestimate the importance of mastering in professional quality recording. That's when you've got all of the tracks fully recorded. You've probably done a reasonable amount of processing to them and, studio processing after the fact. But then the person who's mastering it takes the final track and really kind of puts all the final touches to it. And someone who's good at mastering can take a track that already sounds amazing and tweak the smallest elements of it and just elevate it 1 step higher or 2 steps higher and turn it from something that sounds amazing into something that's absolutely incredible. It's an extraordinary skill that I was never any good at when I was doing my studio recording days. I was quite good at the recording part. I was absolutely dreadful at the mastering part. I genuinely believe it's a skill. And then the one thing I wanted to come back to, which is kind of cool, there's the 2 credits just above that, which is Makeup Design and Hair by Olena Lysenko. I actually really like the look that they had in this. It was very natural, very kind of chill, informal. That was awesome, and it worked through that. But directed, filmed, and edited, and this is the point I wanted to really hit on, was Riley Zamba and Mackenzie Zamba and Jimmy Bates for 5th Gen Films, and Riley and Mackenzie, of course, The Hound and the Fox. So this is the first time I've clocked since recording the Hound of the Fox video and coming aware of who they are, that they are working on this particular Home Free video, and I know they recorded a lot of early Home Free stuff. And my understanding is Home Free kind of gave them the encouragement to then start putting their own work out there as well. So thank you, Home Free, for that, and thank you, Hound of the Fox and Riley and Mackenzie for so much work on Home Free stuff. There's a lovely, I cannot get over, and I keep mention this in the comments all the time, the intercommunication and the camaraderie between all the, particularly Home Free Voice Play and the Hound and the Fox are sort of the triangle I'm most aware of. I say that. I don't know if Voice Play and Hound of the Fox have had as much to do with each other. Maybe they have. I don't know. That's not something I'm so aware of. But those groups, I love the camaraderie between them, and the fact that there's this association and this, they work on each other's material and that sort of thing. That's so cool, because it's so easy to see stuff like that and assume that they would be highly competitive, and they're not like that. I mean, I'm sure they're probably competitive, but it's friendly if so. It's not this, I'm not going to help you because you're in the same field as me and all that sort of thing. Having come from the theatre industry, where you're as likely to come across somebody who's going to, say, no, I'm not going to help at all. I'm working, I'm auditioning for the same role as you and I want to get it and all that sort of thing. It seems to me very encouraging to see that in this industry, or at least amongst these groups, there's much more friendliness there. So I love that. This was great. I love this so much. It's very sort of, I think, especially because they were saying, here's something for the small fries. It's fairly true to the original. It's less complex and sort of, it diverges away less than a lot of their material does. And that's great. I think that works really, really well because, they've made it their own. It sounds like it's a home free arrangement, but it's also a slightly more accessible one for the kids, which I love. So we are going to go back and watch this through again, and let's just see what comes out of this. Yeah. Nice that they haven't got the title card that they have sometimes, but they're also, they have an introduction to it. It just appears over the beginning of their video, which is a nice touch. I've sort of talked a lot about presentation and title cards and stuff, and I like that this has a slightly more whimsical font than some of them are kind of very stylistic and geared towards the style of the song that they're about to sing, which is fantastic. This one, it suits that there's a little more whimsy to it, so that's great. That blend of the voices there is also just fantastic. You get this really strong sense of harmony, but there is that element of... It's not... oh my goodness, excuse me. Cough is ongoing, as you can hear. It's not... there's still that sense of this is only a part of what's to come. It's a very tight element of what's going to be a fuller sound in about half a second. And that's really cool. It just gives it this nice opening that gives us so many places to go. And then we get this awesome entry here from Adam.
I messed up tonight.
Nice. It's such a simple thing, but again, it's fun, and especially because if they're gearing this towards younger kids who don't, haven't been exposed necessarily to a lot of a cappella at this point in time, this next section with this phrase that comes up at the bottom is so important. That right there. All sounds created by the human voice. Because it would be so, it's not a regular thing for when you're young to come across somebody who is beatboxing. And so recognizing what they're doing wouldn't be that easy. So I think it's really important that they actually emphasize that for the younger audience, because it tells kids this is a thing you can do. And I think, I can't speak to education elsewhere, but in the UK, music education, when you go through it in primary and secondary school, is very geared towards understanding music. This is the orchestra. I say that this is from 20 years ago, but it was all about the basics. You can only fit so much into a secondary school education. I get that, and I didn't go to a music specific school. I went to a school that had actually a focus on academia and sport, and the arts have become more important, but they were becoming more important when I was there. But you wouldn't be introduced to beatboxing. You would know it existed, but it wasn't something that you would study. It wasn't something that there was anyone at school who could teach you, anything like that. And of course, as I was growing up, the internet was still developing all of the media sharing methods. MySpace was a thing. We didn't have this idea that you could just go on YouTube and find 50 different people who could teach you how to beatbox. I don't know if that's the case. I assume it is, because you can find pretty much anything on YouTube. Wasn't there. And so this is great. I love that they are just upfront saying this is how this is done, so that if there are kids watching this who don't really know what beatboxing is, they can understand more through this video. I think try everything is such an important thing to say to an artist. It took me years of trying different things before I found the areas that I was comfortable being in, and I started feeling like I was doing what I was meant to do. And ultimately I ended up becoming a writer, but I learned that through exploring music and doing lots of different things. And anyway, I'm soapbox to one side, but things like this are so important for young people to understand the options that are out there and the things that people are capable of doing. That's all I'm saying. That was long-winded. I apologize.
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still messed up, but I'll just start again.
This is only 6 years ago, but Austin looks so much younger for some reason. I guess it's maybe the way he's been styled in this video. But when I first saw him on the screen, I didn't recognize him immediately. Rob just looks the same. I feel like it's one of those things. I feel like Rob's going to have looked like that for 40 years. You know, it's very much his look. But yeah, Austin just looks way younger for a second there. I love his entry here. He has such a pure quality to his singing. It's really, really nice. I really like his voice. And what it amazes me when we get to it, and I mentioned it as we passed through there, is how well he and Rob can hand off to one another. And you recognize it's a different voice, but not necessarily immediately. It takes a couple of words to clock that if you're not looking, to clock that they switched, because their voices like lend to each other so well.
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still messed up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up now to see what's next.
Really nice stuff in there. I love this as the choral accompaniment, because it's keeping motion. It's not, it's not held legato chords. This we've got this eighth note beat that's going on in the chorus, and it keeps everything moving. There's that sense that this is an upbeat song. It's not something that you want to start very slowly, and they keep that going, but they don't interrupt Austin in any way. It's still, his show for a minute while he's singing this line. And then these little subtle additions that Adam is adding, like at the end of a line, there'll just be a between as the upbeat going into the next line. And then at the very end of it, there's 3 of them in a row leading into the next verse.
Another fight. I still messed up, but
Right there. That's great.
tonight. I lost another fight. I still messed up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down.
As soon as Rob gets down to fall, I was just thinking there, when would I know categorically? There are differences in the tonal quality, of course, but it's when he hits the word fall, that's when it clicks in my head. It's like, now that's Rob's voice. The handoff has definitely happened. But it amazes me how well they managed to match in those moments. It's really, really impressive.
Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. No.
That little choice there of having the echo in the background, the up, 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 is really, really nice. One, it's just a cool effect. It adds to the musical texture that we've got going on here. But I also like that it's like get up that's a big thing. They fall down and they get up. And that's why I say this is such a motivational song. It's all that logic of, let's just keep going. Let's just keep trying. And right there, get up, 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 up. It just reinforces that point a little bit. It's a really, really nice choice there.
Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up.
Another really important message. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I love the lyrics of this song so much. Well, that's novel. Pardon me, I'm just going to pause while I fix this. Interesting. I think the light that I got is a USB connection, and I think the block that I've got it running into right now is too small. It feels like it's overheating a little bit, so we'll see how this goes. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just that nobody can learn without getting it wrong. It's just one of those lyrics that I remember when I heard this in the movie in the first place, I just thought this is so great, because a song like that is, you knew this was going to become popular. I mean, one, it's Shakira, of course it's going to become popular, but it's also just a bop, and it's a real kind of, it's catchy, it's an earworm, and having a song like this with this motivational, really kind of positive message going through it is brilliant. And that's one of the lyrics to this. I remember, you hear it, I think it plays on Hops's, she plays it on her MP3 player, right? And then it plays again over the credits. I think I have that right. Haven't seen Zootopia for a little while. But listening to it in the full version when they had it, it struck me what an excellent song this was for that movie. And those lyrics just really stand out. Anyway, back to it. So nice, because you've had that, it's this... I think this is a pattern... Oh, mouse is in the way. I think this is a pattern that Home Free follows, where Austin sings something, Rob sings something. And what's nice there is you come down a step. Austin's up here, he's sort of singing up high. Oh, my hand's off the screen. Rob comes a little bit lower, and then that allows that... Where I talk so much about sort of having that expansion and contraction of the vocal sound, what's nice here is it's almost like you get gradually dropped into Home Free's sound. You start at the very thin... Not that Austin's voice is thin, but in terms of musical breadth. This very sort of narrow focus at the top that just expands a little bit with the second voice, and then all of a sudden the group comes in, and we this wide breadth of sound comes in, and you can just slowly feel yourself being dropped into it, and it's such a natural transition. This is really good arranging. Nice fill right there. Adam is absolutely killing it in this song. His beatboxing is fantastic. I mean, he's always brilliant, but there's something about this. Everything fits so well, and this is one of those songs where everybody is blending together, and everyone is shining by being a part of the group, rather than necessarily being a solo element that stands out by doing something crazy. Which is so nice. It's really... It's great to... every group I've heard so far, I think I've heard them do both things. I've heard them have this wonderful group sound where they are shining as a whole, and then I've heard songs where everybody has their own unique moment. And that's just fantastic. I love that. I also really like that when this introduction comes in, when I'm talking about being dropped into that breath, because Tim is singing a little bit higher in this, or at least his general register for this song is higher, he's not dropping right down into his boots. You've got this gorgeous, tight mix right now, and it is, I think, a slightly tighter harmony in terms of not having that huge breadth of way up high and way down low. And it's a slightly different sound than you always necessarily hear from Home Free. They do this in their songs, but quite often they'll split out again quickly. And this is setting up for what's going to be this really cohesive, tight package the whole way throughout. I just absolutely love that. Yeah, this is really, really good. I love this. I'm also really enjoying this visual. So I talked about this already, but I love that it seems like we have different stages of recording. So right here we have the one mic, everyone is standing around it singing. This is the one I was saying I think is probably the test at a guess. They were probably recording this just to see how it sounded when it came out, what the balance was like between the different voices, and what the thing sounded like as a whole. That would be my guess. And then here, where we're seeing each person in front of their own microphone, they've got the pop shields up, they've got, I think, is it 2 microphones per person? They've got a slightly wider field that they're accepting there, I think, maybe. This looks like this is probably the recording that we're listening to. That would be my guess. But again, as I say, please correct me if I'm wrong about that. But it's just nice seeing this process, and you almost are seeing process. And they're not hiding the fact that they're in a studio. Same as Voctiv did. This is the recording that they went for. They went for them recording the song, and it's really cool.
Oh, I can fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end.
I like that jump up. Start again. It's a momentary widen. It's a heightening of that word. And it stops the song being monotone. Not that it is anyway, but it's just those little peaks of interest. They reinvigorate what you're listening to. That's a really, really smart moment in the arrangement, I think.
I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again.
Yeah, and it's not far away. Till I reach the end. Was that, I got that right?
Until I reach the end, and then I'll start again.
Yeah, it's the same note as reach. Till I reach the end, start again. But because it's sitting there for 3 notes, it just stands out for a moment. Just for a moment. But it doesn't pull completely away from the arrangement. That's really nice.
No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I can fail.
I like as well, like there's that sense that especially when they're standing around the mic, like there's a few motions, like Adam there kind of having a bit of motion. It shows an investment into what they're doing. Like it's a part of their performance, but it shows the slight informality of that. And that's, again, another thing that made me think this is probably them sort of testing the recording a little bit, is there's a little bit more freedom of movement there, where they're obviously being a little bit more structured when they're standing in front of the pop shields with the microphones right in front of them. It's nice because we get this flexibility between sort of the personas of them doing the full serious recording and the personas of them standing around looking at each other, not having microphones in the way and engaging. And it's really nice seeing that in the video. This mix between these two presentations is really, really smart. Lovely, nice little fill there again. And these fills aren't necessarily standing out a huge amount either, but they're just adding in all this texture to what's going on. It's nice. They're sticking very strictly, I don't know if very strictly, I don't remember the song well enough to know that, but it feels like they're not diverging too far away from it, and they just don't need to. Like, this is such a buoyant song. It already carries itself really well, and the fact that they've chosen to do this as opposed to making it some, complex changing rhythm or changing harmony or making it really, really stretched to have all that, they could have done that and it would have been just as amazing, and that's fine. But I like that they've chosen to do this because it also shows a slightly different side of that sound. As I was saying, that slightly more contained sound is a really nice touch. I like that again, it's nice to see a little bit of this side of a studio as well. Everybody's fairly familiar with the different facets of a studio, but I like it when, if you are doing a studio recording, it's not just in the room. It's great. It's perfectly fine to be that, but I also like seeing a little bit of this side too. I know, I used to sit at a desk like this, not quite this fancy, but and I sort of have an affiliation to it, I guess. But it's also cool because this is a part of the process that's happening in that room, right? What they're doing is being controlled by the person sitting out here. And so we're seeing the entire thing. Excuse me. I really like, and if this is actually Chance's first video, I also love that everything backs out here, and you have a little bit of accompaniment with the percussion and stuff, but it's minimal. And it just lets him have a moment, which is a really nice way. And even if this is 2 or 3 videos in, it's still a nice way of introducing his voice. And he's got such a lovely voice anyway. It's nice to have that regardless. But it's also very cool that this is early on in his time. That's kind of fun. I like that.
Look how far you've come. You fill your heart with love. Maybe you've done.
It's extraordinary too, and this is another reason why I say it's important to have, especially for young people who don't necessarily have an appreciation for a cappella yet. It sounds like there's a string section playing right here. This going on in the background. I'm not quite sure what sound they're making, but it legit sounds to me like there's a string section, and I know it's them, but it's such a great sound, and it's such a tight sound that they're producing. Yeah, it's really cool.
How far you've come, you filled your heart with love. Maybe you've done enough, take a deep breath. Don't beat yourself up, no need to run so fast.
These two voices together, man, they're gorgeous. I love this. Everybody in this group sounds good together, but I love that you have these two extremely solid pairings of Austin and Rob, whose voices are very close together and they blend really well. And then Chance and Tim, which when Tim is higher up like this, he's not, he's only singing, a third or fourth apart from Chance right now. And that blend is also just so beautiful.
Don't beat yourself up, no need to run so fast. Sometimes we come in last, but we did our best. I won't give up.
I love that you've got that great fill coming back in. Something, we're about to expand back out again, and then you get this beautiful re-entry of everybody. And it's one of the things I'm really enjoying about the informal version of what we're seeing here in the visuals is you can see everybody having a really good time. And they're really comfortable with what they're doing. They look comfortable in the recording, like sort of with the microphones and stuff. But it's a bit more serious at that point. Whereas here, it looks like they're having a little bit more fun. I love even just the simple things of what they choose. Oh, this light. Okay, I'm just going to. I need to get a better block for it. I'm just going to do without it for the rest of this video. Sorry. I love that, we have little things like you see this clear moment. I don't know why. Came into my head, it's almost like a Wile E. Coyote moment of that suspense. Or indeed of anticipation. If you know, you know. Of seeing Adam Rupp hold this final, like after he hits the final note of the fill before the re-entry.
We come in last, but we did our best. I won't give up.
You can see him just kind of gearing up there. It's it's kind of cool, and I love that it's what the song is doing. The anticipation is there in the music, and it's there in his performance that he's putting on here as well. It's great.
No, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try.
The smoothness of this sound as well, like it's very, very friendly. The way that they're singing all of this, it's a great warmth here, which is perfect because again, it's this very accessible song that is so kind of easy to get into the vibe of, and it doesn't need to be anything kind of complex in what they're choosing to do, and they haven't, and it's great. The harmony is just absolutely solid. Yeah. I know I'm sort of repeating myself a little bit, but it's just the consistency in this is excellent.
Everything. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I can fail. I won't give up. No, I won't give in.
I can't get over all these fills. I didn't even hear half of them the first time through. The effect was there, but they're so well integrated into everything that's going on. It's absolutely fantastic. I will never ever cease to be amazed by what beatboxers are capable of doing, especially people at the level of Adam Rupp and Lane Stein. It's extraordinary the sounds that the human body can make, and the mastery that people like Adam have of it is unbelievable to me. They can just as easily show off, and they can just as easily make something that to me, as a non-beatboxer, is such a weird sound to be produced, and they make it sound like speaking. It's just so easy for them. It's amazing.
I won't give up. No, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I can fail.
The record scratch too, again. How do you even do that? I like here that also we're seeing we break away a little bit from the close-up and we actually see them all. Where's the shot? There. And we see all 5 of them just jamming in the space, doing their thing. Also 2 pianos in the background. That's just kind of fun. But yeah, it's nice to see the group as well, because we are doing this constant rotation around them, or the focus on an individual at a given moment. And so having just a moment to break out and see everybody together is a really nice touch too. Because that's the thing, right? This is a holistic sound. It's all 5 of them working together to produce this extraordinary music. And it's cool to see that, have a moment of that in the video as well. I love that in the background, the new mistake. That's gorgeous. Interesting, so we've got vocalizing going on in the background. I hadn't picked up on how many times they check, because there's 3 different sounds. There's I think it's u. Right, because they're singing for I'll just keep on making these new. So they're matching the vowel sound that Rob is actually singing at the moment, which is great because it almost serves to fractionally disguise. I think it's why I didn't hear it the first time around. It fractionally disguises the vowel change in what they're singing, but it also does change the texture of the harmony at that point in time. And so you detect the difference, but it's not a big slap in the face. It's just this gentle change underneath the logical sound that is being produced by the soloist. It's just a really good choice. And then you have this lovely new mistakes, and they just sail back up again. That's nice too. So you have this new mistake. They hold on. There's a nice suspension in there. I'm not sure who it is, but someone. Where is it? So I apologize, but that suspended 6th there. They go up from the 4th to the suspended 6th and come back down to the 5th. Oh, hang on. It's such a nice touch. You've got this, you go from the 2nd up to a suspended 4th, come back down to the 3rd. And it's just a really nice touch in the motion of that chord. And then we move on, and we have this lovely section at the end of it where Rob comes in with the downbeat on the next line. And just for that half beat, the chorus is silent for a second. On every just for a second. It's boom, every day. It's only for a second. But it's just a really nice touch, and it just emphasizes the beginning of that next musical figure that we're getting at the end of this line. And now we're getting that same figure we had at the beginning, but it's a little more involved. There's that sort of bang, 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 the guitar sound going on in the background that wasn't there at the beginning of the song. But it's filling that sound out now. And it's different to how it was in the middle of the song as well. I forget exactly what the chorus was doing at that point, but it's just, again, it's just each time something repeats, there are just small subtle differences, a slight filling out of the harmony, or a change in who the composition of who is singing, or in this case, just a slightly different backing to support the rhythmic section of the and it's interesting too, because it's a slightly more consistent sound, the guitar sound that's being made there, which is a nice contrast to these glottal entries of the It's not a gentle It's clean definition with the glottal entries, and yet at the same time there's this sound that just doesn't stop going on in the background. So you've got this very percussive entry against a much more consistent accompaniment. It's really, really nice.
Try everything. Try everything. Try everything. Try everything.
And that's such a beautiful ending. I love that it just takes that section just to slow down, pull back. We have this lovely, rich a cappella harmony, and it just lets the song drift out on a beautiful chord right there. That's really good. What a fantastic arrangement. That is so much fun. I really, really love what they do with this. It's just, it keeps every ounce of the fun that's in there, and yet they get to play around with their voices a little bit, do their thing. And it does show off what an a cappella group does for the benefit of young folks who might not have been introduced to it yet. But it does it in a way that is so familiar to the original song that it makes it really, really accessible as well. That is a really, really nice arrangement. Well done, Home Free and Darren, for arranging that. That is excellent. I really enjoyed it. It's funny. It's a movie I don't think of immediately. I was really happy to see it when I looked for something to react to from Home Free, just because I don't instinctively go to Zootopia when I'm thinking of let's listen to some Disney music, and that song is a reminder that there is great music in films you don't necessarily associate with being full-on musicals. So yeah, that wonderful, really, really, really nicely done. I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, that is that. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and what commentary I could provide on this take on a very cool Disney song. And Disney month continues. There will be another Disney reaction in a few days. Please do like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and do hit that notification bell so that you'll be aware the next time that one of my videos pops up. And if you would care to, please do head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, where you can donate to support the channel. And thank you very much if you do choose to do that. I will be back in a few days, as I say. And in the meantime, take care, have a lovely afternoon, night, evening, morning, whatever time it happens to be. And take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.